Hi, Lynette here, Praise 106.5, and it's always fun to talk with local authors when their books come out. I bet you're so excited.
Yeah, it's always exhilarating and a little intimidating when a new book comes out because it's always belonged to just me, and now it's going out and belonging to the world. And so it's wonderful and scary at the same time.
I'm talking with Susan Meissner, our very own local author who has written how many books so far, Susan?
I think it's 23. I think we're on 23.
And you were on bestseller lists, and you're right here in our area. You love Jesus, and God has given you the most amazing talent for writing historical fiction and children's books. But today we're focusing on your newest book, hot off the presses. Why don't you give us a little synopsis of this brand new book?
Sure. Yeah, the book is called A Map to Paradise. It's historical fiction. It's set in 1956 in Malibu, California. It's the post-war years. The 1950s are the first decade past World War II. And you would think it would be a decade full of just happiness and promise and all of that. And it was. It was a great decade for fashion, for cars, and for music. Yeah. But it was also a decade of great fear because the Cold War was new and scary and menacing. And we didn't know what to expect from someone like, Russia had been our ally in World War II, but now it's the USSR, and we're not allied. We're enemies, and we both have the bomb, and everyone knew it, and everyone was afraid. People didn't know what to expect. And so there was, McCarthyism was a real thing, the Red Scare was a real thing, and people were suspecting everybody of maybe being a communist sympathizer and hiding as a patriot. And so we have that going on, and so I've got a blacklisted actress. She's not a communist, but in Hollywood there was a hunt for communists, and she got swept up into that, and so she's lost the only career she's ever wanted. Her housekeeper, Ava, is an actual displaced person from World War II. There were a million people who could not go home after World War II. They've been brought into Germany as forced laborers, or maybe they were Holocaust survivors or political refugees, and going home meant going home to an Eastern Bloc country. And that could mean arrest, it could mean execution, it could mean deportation to a gulag. And so the United States brought in 400,000 of these displaced persons, and she's one of them. She's an ethnic German, born in Russia, but pretending to be Polish so that she could make her immigrate. So she's got a big secret. And then they live next door to a woman who's caring for her agoraphobic brother-in-law. He doesn't leave the house. He's a screenwriter. She was married to his brother, but she's a widow. He's been gone for many years, and since he doesn't leave the house, he needs someone to care for him, and so she does, but she's also in love with him, and it's not a mutual feeling, and if he dies and he's not well, she loses everything, no house, no job, nothing. And so these three women who meet on this cul-de-sac in Malibu, which is a virtual paradise, but not to them. They're in the throes of being displaced or having had their home already taken from them. And that's the only thing they have in common, but it's a pretty big thing.
Oh, this looks like a wonderful book to be reading. A Map to Paradise, maybe your new spring break read, or if you're looking for that perfect gift. Now, you've got some events coming up right in our local area where people can actually meet you, pick up the book, and maybe have you sign some books.
Absolutely. That would be so much fun. Yes, I'll be in Lynden Tuesday, the 18th. At the Lynden Public Library. Village Books will be there. If you want to buy a book, they will be there. I'll be in conversation with another author, Cheryl Bostrom. We'll have a great conversation.
Oh,
She's an awesome writer. She's fantastic.
Sugarbirds. Just read that.
Yeah, she will be there, and we will have door prizes and refreshments. It's going to be a great launch party, 6:30 p.m. at the Lynden Public Library. And then if you're closer to the Seattle area, I will be at Third Place on the Lake Forest Park location on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then if you are on closer to like Gig Harbor or the islands, I'll be on Bainbridge Island on Thursday of this week at 6:30 p.m. I'll be talking about the book and meeting you and taking pictures and saying hello.
Wonderful. Oh, Susan, I can't wait. I'm so excited that you have another book and thrilled to share it with our listeners here at Praise 106.5. Look for it at a bookstore near you or any place where books are sold. It's called A Map to Paradise by our very own Susan Meissner.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks so much for chatting with me.